Good Smile Pop Upgrade XL, which is 1/4 scale Miku, I think would be around 20 to 25,000 yen. And now Free Ink's version, which is better in quality, is also going for 25k. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven. For today, we will be taking a look at figure pre-orders between 23rd to 28th of October 2023. Yep, resin figures included. And a small portion of today's news will be filmed from a different location in a hotel room because I am traveling to Kuala Lumpur for a bit and I am unwilling to break my schedule on publishing this figure news fix on a specific day at a very specific time, regardless of whether I'm on the break or not. So yeah, maybe that small portion filmed from a different location, maybe the audio quality isn't as great, but bear with me for today's episode, right? Now we are into HLJ.com, this channel's affiliate partner, to check out some genuine figures. Then we'll stop by Ami and Nin Game for a second before moving on to third parties. Naturally, I have already selected the scale figures I want to cover. As usual, now we'll start off with a bunch of pop-up rates from Good Smile. This week, there are a lot of pop-up rates going on pre-order for some reason. There are at least half a dozen of these, maybe more. We'll start off with 3 figures from Cyberpunk Edge Runners. So this is pop-up rate Rebecca, just under 4,000 yen. And then we also have David for the same price, as well as Lucy. All 3 will be releasing in June 2024. And personally, I do think this trio of figures, they are a great collection for anyone who loves Cyberpunk. I wish that I have the time to play the game. I heard that the game is excellent nowadays with millions of active players daily. That is amazing. Yeah, kind of reminds me of Grand Theft Auto in a way where there is a huge community and it is very popular, but GTA is kind of, no, it is terrible nowadays, right? That is another topic. So this trio of figures, while I am not very invested into Cyberpunk as a series, like, yeah, it was cool, I liked it, but I'm not that kind of a really big fan. So if I still want a figure of these 3 characters, I think these 3 over here will suffice. But if you want something better, like way better than pop-up rates, then you have to take a look at the third-party market. Yeah, the resin figures, which they cost a lot, but they offer something more unique, more sophisticated and more detailed than pop-up rates. But for the average figure collector, these 3 are looking really great indeed. So we are off to a great start for pop-up rates. Well, normally, as usual, I don't really recommend pre-ordering pop-up rates because they don't really become very rare with the exception of HoloLive stuff. But still, the chances of re-release is very high nonetheless. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have Ryoko Matoi Souvenir Jacket version L size from Kill La Kill pop-up rate. This is about 1/7 scale or so, and I do think this one is a good buy. I mean, 7,500 yen. Also, and then Kill La Kill 10 years later, there is still some traction and figure companies are still occasionally coming up with figures, which is great, right? So with this figure, yeah, the pose is simple, but still, I kind of really like what I'm looking at over here. Not the most detailed figures, like, you see, there are some folds and wrinkles around the sleeves on her jacket, but not much on the main body, you see. So this is the kind of place where I would expect a bit more detail for something that is 1/7 scale, but still this is under 8,000 yen. Not really a bad purchase at all. Oh, this is nice. This photo is nice. Yeah. So this is one of those pop-up rates which I think it is not a bad idea to pre-order one. Moving on to the next one, we have pop-up rate Ice Wallenstein from Danmachi, just under 4,000 yen as well, coming out in April. Now this Ice Wallenstein, this is a bit tough in the sense that, well, Kotobukiya made a scale figure of her several years ago. And yeah, she has her own small group of fans. Most of us, we love Hestia or who else in the series. Hestia is not the most popular girl in this anime series, but still, when first season aired 5 years, 7 years ago or so, yeah, everyone was spamming figures of Hestia, right? And then no one bothered about Ice Wallenstein. And then I think sometime in year 2016, 2017 also, Kotobukiya made one, and that remains the only high quality scale figure of her until today. And naturally, by now, if you were to find one scale figure of her by Koto, the price, the value has gone way up, which I am not surprised at all, considering how good the season 4 of the anime was, right? Even though she was really not part of the main cast in season 4. But season 4 really brought the popularity of Danmachi back up a bit. However, that is mostly for anime only people like me. Manga readers, they already knew what happened. They have already read everything. So yeah, unfortunately, the popularity of Danmachi is really not as great, but personally, I enjoyed it a lot. If you are unable to pay up for the aftermarket value of the Kotobukiya one, I'm afraid this is one of very few options you have left, and let's hope Good Smile makes an L version as well. Next one, this one is an unusual character. I don't think I've seen a scale figure of this character out. Liliruka Arde from Danmachi as well, under 4,000 yen April release. This is possibly the only figure of Liliruka I've seen so far. Of course, my memory might be incorrect. I might be remembering wrongly. Maybe some other brand made a scale figure of her. But as far as I can tell, since I'm looking at figure pre-orders almost daily every week, I don't think I missed out anything. This is possibly the only figure of her so far. And just because this pop-up rate series, they have this series of very niche, very rare support characters in an anime series, it serves as a really good justification to go for it, and in fact go for the entire series, just so every single figure from the same anime series has the same scale and same size, you know. Yeah. And the next one, this one as well, Sanjono Haruhime from Danmachi as well, same price, same release month. Haruhime is really one of the MVPs of this season 4, inside where they fought this large sea dragon thing in somewhere in the middle of the series. I really loved that portion of the series as well. And once again, this specific character, I don't think there are any high quality scale figures, which is quite a shame because in general, animal girls, yeah, they tend to sell really well their figures. Next, from Guilty Gear Strive, we have another Bridget figure. This is possibly the 10th figure of him or her, depending on how you see it. Yeah, the 10th figure, the 12th figure of Bridget in the past year or so. This is just under 5,000 yen, so it is a bit more expensive than a typical pop-up rate figure. I'm not too sure why this is a bit more expensive, other than maybe there is more material and more parts on the figure, right? More than often, it is not really the size of the figure that determines the price, but the number of parts. And the more parts, separate parts there are on a figure, that is going to increase the cost because, well, you need a mold for every single separate part before you assemble it and glue it together, right? This is the main reason why Nandoroids and Figmas, especially, the prices have been going up really to ridiculous levels in the past few years or so. And the rate of price increase, when you look at the percentage, 50%, 100%, you look at the percentage, the price increase is a lot faster than scale figures because, yeah, there are multiple parts to be casted, right? Bridget, I actually do like this black color version a lot. This variant, I think I like this color version a bit more than the standard blue color outfit. But it is really up to you. Both look great. Yeah. The next one here, we have pop-up red Lance Crown from Mashley. I did not watch the anime. It wasn't my kind of thing. I tried episode 1 and I was turned off by it. Not to my taste, right? Okay, so this is under 4,000 yen, March release, not too far away. And as usual with male characters wearing a simple tuxedo or anything that is formal wear for us guys, right? Formal wear. The details department is not very good, and this one, from the looks of it, is not too different. Yeah, you know, white shirt, long black trousers, and so on, and a coat or a jacket outside. So yeah, the face on this one looks quite nice, but other than that, nothing outstanding about this figure. Next one over here, okay, this is nice. I mean, we have Mito from SAO movie, Aria of a Starless Night, just under 4,000 yen. Now, this is a surprise. I mean, there is a cape, and there is that scarf over there, a weapon. So to see this normal price at under 4,000 yen instead of like 5,000 like Bridget earlier, this is a bit of a surprise to me. Coming out in May 2024. Okay, so character design wise, I am liking this one quite a bit. And are there any scale figures of Mito? Even if there aren't any at the moment, it is just a matter of time before a scale figure company goes out and make one, right? SAO is very popular after all. I haven't watched this movie yet, but it is in a queue of the least two things to watch for me, right? Okay. And the color scheme on this character overall, yeah, I kind of like it. Violet, blue, purple color. Maybe I'm used to FGO stuff already, because FGO characters, there are a lot of them with violet color as a theme. Next one, okay, we have a couple of low-cost skill figures. Well, El Coco is at it again. They made a trio of spy classroom figures, right? They were under 3,000 yen at 1/7 as well. And then now we have this pair of figures, Fern and also Freewen for 2,850 yen at 1/7 scale, March release. And my early impressions on this pair of figures are not very good, because I feel like I'm looking at price figures, you know, noodle stoppers, where the figures are really small and they are all sitting pose because they need to stop your noodles from exploding somehow when you are when it is still being warmed up after you pour hot water in it. Yeah, so this pair of figures over here, yeah, they really remind me of noodle stopper figures, and that is not a good thing, because even among so many different price figures out there, so many different product lines, Sega, SPM, Sega, Luminasta, and then we have Taito, Corfu, and so on. So many different product lines. And then this specific noodle stopper series is one of the worst price figures out there in terms of quality, detail, and the size of figure, everything. It is inferior to most price figures out there. So we are not off to a very good start over here in terms of initial impressions. I know, maybe this is way better than your generic price figure, noodle stopper, but still the early impression that I have when I look at this pair of figures are not very good, being influenced. However, this Freewen especially, right, I kind of like the sculpting and the face overall. The face sculpt looks really nice, right? So I hope that they maintain this quality all the way to the end. Of course, the outfit, the robe that she is wearing, everything, yeah, just plain, nothing on it. I'm not surprised at all at this price point, right? Are there any Freewen price figures yet? I'm not really following the news on the price figures side of things, but I won't be surprised before the price figure companies start spamming all kinds of different variants of these two characters. It is just a matter of time. Because price figure companies, they love to focus on the seasonal anime market, right? Rather than big game titles. These two, of course, if you want one, you will want the other one. There is really no reason to buy only one, right? And as you can see, yeah, they look great next to each other in terms of the pose. Moving on to the next one, we have a really nice futuristic looking, science fiction looking figure from Prisma Wing. Art by Neko, of course, right? Everything feels like Cyberpunk when I look at artworks by Neko. This is flower imitation flower. I don't know why this thing is called flower. Like, why is it named this way? Okay, let's start from the first picture over here. Okay, so once again, this is not just Cyberpunk, right? Another thing that reminds me of when I look at this character design is Arc Knights. You know, all those small fry soldiers we saw in the Arc Knights anime. Yeah, reminds me of that quite a bit as well. And this is totally up my alley in terms of character design. As for that thing she is sitting on, yeah, that white color block over there, I have no idea what is that. I wish that there is more detail that went into this base she is sitting on, but still, maybe they are trying not to distract our attention from the main figure. It's like we keep the base simple because we want you to focus on the figure and enjoy the details, which some people do prefer it this way. I understand that logic of thinking over here. Yeah, and of course with mask characters, most of the time you get an option to unmask a second faceplate, right? Overall, I'm liking this figure a lot. 29,000 yen almost feels a bit on the expensive side, but this is Prisma Wing we're talking about, the high quality scale figure division of Prime 1 Studio. Yep, they are Prime 1 Studio, so do not expect their stuff to be cheap to begin with. Moving on to the next one, this is not common. We don't get many Honkai Impact third figures nowadays. By Hobby Max, we have 1/7 scale Bronya Zeichik Silver Wing NEX. Okay, this is just under 26,000 yen. December release next year, right? Can't be this year. Yep, December 2024. This figure was displayed in both Wonder Festival Shanghai and Mega Hobby Expo back then, a couple of months back. And since the very first event I saw this figure, I had a complaint about how this effect part of her firing something. Yeah, I am not a fan of it, and now even with this higher quality official product photos, I'm still not a fan of it because I feel like I'm looking at cheap plastic. Yeah. And the effect part over here doesn't feel very convincing in some way. It feels like she is just pointing a very uniquely shaped umbrella of some kind. Yeah, I don't feel it, that impact where she is actually firing an energy weapon of some kind. I don't feel that effect over there, right? So I'm not sure what to think. At the same time, 26k for something like this is not terribly expensive. Just now that Prisma Wing figure is more expensive, right? So we have something that has quite a nice pose in general. I don't have an issue with the pose of this figure, right? It is quite dynamic in a way, but I do have a problem with the base design and also that thing she is firing. I hope that there is a way to display her while holding that sword or spear but without the effect part. I hope there is a way to do so, because if I were to display this figure, I would omit that effect part over there. As you can see, the main figure over here, this shot over here, I like it so much, right? I like the main figure a lot, but I really am not a fan of the effect part at all. This is still a good buy nonetheless, because I do think the price is on the reasonable side of things. And Honkai Impact is plenty popular. I'm sure there are a lot of people who are going to purchase this one. The next figure here, this is adult stuff, so unfortunately I have to censor it. Just go to HLJ and check out the pictures yourself. 1/7 scale Devil Executioner Kaguya Kawasumi figure by Fanza. Now this is a brand I've never heard of. Fanza, 27,000 yen, 1/7 scale. Yeah, I mean you're getting tentacles there, right? Normal price for 1/7 scale nowadays, I suppose, especially one that has a unique base in some way. Okay, so with this censorship stuff I'm doing on my figure news, this is actually a problem because I would prefer not to cover the figure just to make it convenient for you guys to see the figure in my videos rather than, jumping from website to another link and so on. But YouTube's algorithm, the AI, is really intrusive. It is really annoying. Like, the moment I upload a video, it is not even published yet. It is being scheduled. And then after an AI check, it just flags the video as inappropriate for advertisers, and then it just restrict the video or limit it, and it really annoys me so much. You can appeal and have a human moderator review the video, which in most cases, like all cases I've appealed, they reversed the decision. But it is way too late. For example, the video is already published and then the views are coming in, but all the ad revenue isn't there because they restricted the video in the first place. No ads, right? But still, my focus is on you guys, the viewers, the audience. Like, I need to get the video out on time, regardless of restriction or not, because I don't want to deviate from my schedule. You guys are already familiar with what time I upload my figure news fix every week. So I want to stick true to that, regardless of whether my revenue stream is being hit or not, right? I think the audience is more important. Alright, back to topic on hand. With this figure over here, you don't see tentacle figures that often, so maybe if this is your kind of thing, then go for it and pick one up, regardless of whether you know the brand or not. For me, I just bought kind of a tentacle figure very recently, Moon Cancer BB from Outer. That one was a bit unfortunate. Like, not your typical Outer quality over there, but still a decent figure. This one, yeah, This is a more H version, I suppose, right? Moving on to the next figure, we have a 1/6 scale Momo illustration by DS Mal. By Alpha Max, only 18,000 yen at 1/6 scale, but this is no surprise. Very plain and simple figure, right? Not much going on. And this figure, of course, this is cast offable. And for 1/8 scale, 18k, if you like the character design, by all means, go for it. Because Alpha Max is normally a high quality scale figure maker. Regardless of whether it is under SkyTube or not, they are still a very good brand, right? And I can recommend this figure easily. This figure, personally, it is a bit too generic to my taste. Like a mate wearing almost nothing. Yeah. But still, I mean, you're getting a really tall figure at a low cost. So this is all down to whether you like the character design or not. Moving on to the next one, another censored figure over here. Now this is a really interesting one. We have a 1/10 scale figure of Rias Grammary from High School DxD by Provy. I haven't heard from Provy in at least a year. The Nero Claudius Saber Regalia figure I own and reviewed on this channel. Yeah, that was made by Provy, and that was my only Provy figure until today. They kind of impressed me. I wasn't expecting that much, but yeah, their quality is quite good. So with this one over here, I'm guessing, I mean, based on product pictures, you're getting two figures for 22,000 yen at 1/10 scale, which is actually an okay price. With the brand Provy, in case you guys are unfamiliar with them, I actually checked their website, right, their official website. They don't make many scale figures, maybe 1 or 2 scale figures each year, very few. Their main products, their main focus is more on, you know, like gashapon and all these, this small stuff in general, right? So scale figures are not their main business, but still when they do make the figure at 1/7, 1/8, they do a good job with it. Now with Rias Grammary, if you don't mind the scale of this figure being quite small, and how the art work, I mean this character design over here is based on Season 4. Season 1 and Season 2, the artwork is different from Season 3 and Season 4. I prefer the older artwork, the more matured looking artwork, yeah, from the first 2 seasons. So the artwork in Season 4 was a bit disappointing to me, but some people liked it. It is just a matter of personal taste, right? Rias Grammary is the kind of figure which you should go for if you don't mind the skill, because the value, the price is very likely to go up after release. In fact, I can't think of any Rias Grammary figure out there, regardless of brand, Griffin Enterprises included, regardless of brand, where the value maintains or dropped. Every single one of them went up because Rias Grammary is crazy popular, right? So bear this in mind if you want this figure. Pre-order it early. The next one over here, actually kind of like this character a lot. This original character. 1/7 scale Eevee Usamimi Laundry figure by Golden Head Plus. 24,000 yen at 1/7. Yeah, kind of pricey specifically for this figure because it is a simple figure, right? But still, I mean, I look at this figure, I feel like I'm looking at, what do I call this? There is a specific color scheme for this one right here. Yeah, pastel color. Yep. So there is a very gentle and pleasant pastel color scheme going on this figure, which I kind of like. You could even display this figure next to a bunch of macarons and they would look great together for photography purposes, right? So I don't think this figure is cast offable at all. Golden Head, as far as I'm aware of, they don't make X-rated figures. But regardless, yeah, this is, look at this picture over here. This is so pleasant to look at, right? So I wouldn't mind having this figure at all, even though due to priorities, I wouldn't hit that pre-order button. I have other stuff to buy, but this is one of those original character figures which I would love to have on my shelf. Next figure, we have a re-release of this 1/4 scale Hatsune Miku V3 version 3 by Freeing. Only 25,400 yen, coming out in August next year, a year away. So if you want a giant Miku figure and you do not want to pay too much for one, this is it. Is there a pop-up rate XL of Hatsune Miku? I think there is one, right? There is no way Good Smile won't make one. So you see, this is the interesting part. Good Smile pop-up rate XL, which is 1/4 scale Miku, I think would be around 20 to 25,000 yen. And now Freeing's version, which is better in quality, is also going for 25k. So naturally, I would tell you to go for the one made by Free Ink. Even though Free Ink has the slight tendency, the occasional tendency to have QC issues with the paintwork, but I think it is still worth picking up this one over any pop-up rate, given the price point is so close, right? Next figure, this is quite nice as well. So from Daiki Kogyo, we have a 1x6 scale Raita Art Original Magical Girl Series Rui Asuka Summer Sailor version for 31,000 yen. Now this is quite a tall figure from the looks of it. The dimensions is not being mentioned by HLJ over here, but I believe this is at least 28-29 cm tall head height, right? The whole thing is way taller. 31k feels okay for a figure like this. This is a 1x6 after all. Raita art style, basically big titties, big backside, long legs and very small head. Just look at the Raiko figure I reviewed a few days ago, right? And once again, I apologize for the censorship despite not having any nudity involved over here, because once again, YouTube AI is annoying AF, right? Anyways, I'm including the link, on the top left corner. Go and check it out, the figure yourself if you like her. I don't think this is a great purchase, but the only problem is that Daiki Kogyo is not very consistent as a figure brand, unfortunately, so bear that in mind. One more thing I find interesting is that Amakuni normally is the one who are making figures from Raita Artworks, but this time it is Daiki Kogyo. I suppose they can't be picky with which company they license their artwork to, right? As long the money flows in. Okay, moving on to the next one over here. Okay, so we are looking at Angela, 1x7 scale. Oh, no scale mentions over here. Okay, so Square Enix Angela from the Legend of the Sacred Sword 3 Trials of Mana. Okay, character design wise, this is quite nice. I do like it quite a bit over here. And 22,700 yen. We need to know the scale. Okay, this is 23.5 centimeters tall, so this is very close to 1x7 scale. I don't know if Square Enix is the one actually making this figure, or some other brand manufactured it and they are just distributing it. Character design wise, I feel like this is like a magician girl, a wizard girl who is wearing what looks almost like a One Piece swimsuit, but still, I like the color scheme a lot over here, right? I wouldn't mind having this figure on my shelf either, just for the sake of some variety in my collection. Of course, based on the name of the title, this is definitely an RPG game of some kind, right? I don't really play RPG games that much. Up next, I had to censor something again. I don't like doing this at all, but I don't have a choice because this is bound to piss off some SJWs at some point, and for that reason alone, you need to get one, right? Sometimes owning something potentially illegal is very exciting in a way. And not to mention, this is 1x6 scale. Yeah, lolly characters, but 1x6 scale. 2 figures, 26,000 yen. This is incredible. This is a bargain, really. And why is this so cheap at 1x6 scale? Yeah, for one, they are small because they are short characters. And once again, the second reason is the number of parts I mentioned earlier. This figure, there are very few parts, no separate parts, so naturally the cost becomes lower. This is a good buy if you liked my Tetsu last run, which is actually quite popular, at least here in Asia. The one Outer made, Hachiroku made by Outer, was quite a good seller as well, at least here in Asian region, right? So this one is going to do quite well regardless of what people say. And these two figures are just peak Japanese anime and game culture right there. Moving on to the next one. Okay, we have 1x6 scale magical Unfusion Sugaike Irie illustrated by Momi by Tuberosa Plus, formerly known as Orchid Seed. 22,000 yen. Once again, a great purchase. Orchid Seed. I have purchased 2 or 3 of their figures in the past, right? Elaine from, that elf, Elaine from, what's the name again of this series, this edgy series? And then there was Super Sonico. I also bought 2 or 3 of their Super Sonico figures and they were amazing, right? So with Tuberosa Plus, rest assured, go and get one if you like the character. I do like this character design a lot, right? So with today, while there are not many scale figures that make me want to hit that pre-order button really badly, there are at least 2 or 3 original art characters which I like quite a bit. This one is one of them over here. And that is all for the figures on HLJ at the time of recording. Like this figure over here, I'm sure HLJ will put her up on pre-order at some point. Just that I'm recording this early since I am traveling. Okay, White Rabbit illustrated by Rosu Uri, 1x7 scale by Otaku Toys, and since this is a provisional pre-order, yeah, we are looking at a Chinese figure brand. So this is quite affordable, 14,300 yen. We're looking at Kotobukiya Art FXJ territory. And obviously we can see how the cost is being cut over here. The base, right? The base probably cost them like 20 cents to make each. Okay, as for the main figure itself, this is just... yeah, it feels almost like a bunny figure, except that there is no bunny ears on her head. But the outfit design is totally like, bunny girl style with a jacket outside. And this is the one trend I've noticed recently where they are giving these girls, these anime girls who are wearing suit that appears to be something common with bunny suit, but then they put a jacket outside, a very detailed looking jacket. And I like this trend so much, right? I think jacket on top of this suit over here makes the figure appear more detailed and more attractive overall. I really like this new trend with original artwork characters. So this figure, do I want one? Yes, kind of. Next one over here, Divine Sword Irelia, 1x7 scale by Mietos, 27,000 yen out in August 2024. So this is from some Chinese game or manhwa again, right? Wow. Is this a female version of Gilgamesh from FGO? Yeah, there is no Gate of Babylon or anything like that, but we have so many flying swords, flying melee weapon. I think we had the character in Recreators with a very similar ability over here. Yeah. Mietos, you don't have to question them much. You like the character design, you go for it. Just hit that order button. They are top 3 best Chinese figure brand at the moment out there in terms of quality control, details, and pretty much the overall figure quality, right? Oh, this is a League of Legends character. I just saw that small name over there at the top left corner. So this is from League of Legends. Makes sense because to me it felt like a character I would see in this game, right? As usual, Mietos always provides a lot of product photos and close-up pics just for you guys to appreciate the details. This is an excellent purchase at 27,000 yen, really? Wow, the texture. See, details is not just about multiple different parts with different colors, but also texture. Texture is really important. Next figure over here, we have Persona 5, the Royal and Takamaki school uniform version. Is this a re-release? I'm not too sure, but to me it feels like a re-release. I feel like I've seen this figure before, right? Okay, this is 24,200 yen, no scale mentioned, but this is at least 1x4, 1x7 I think. Yep, 1x7 scale. I think so far every Persona figure I've come across in the past, they are all 1x4, 1x7. For some reason I keep saying the word 1x4, I have no idea why. Okay, this may be only a school uniform figure, but because of the pose, yeah, that pose makes all the difference, right? It makes the figure a lot more attractive. And red color, is that a stocking? No, right? Just a very tight suit, right, in red color. But I mean, this is a very interesting combination of colors that actually works with this figure. 24,000 yen, if I have to be honest, feels a bit expensive for a schoolgirl figure like this, right? But at the same time, I would say you can justify buying one because Amakuni, their figures are great, and I'm liking the pose on this so much, down to every single small detail. Like she's holding that mask and with one eye closed, winking at you. I like this a lot. This face expression. This is the winner face expression over here. Yeah. So I would totally overlook the price point with this specific figure. Maybe I'm biased because I respect Amakuni a lot as a figure brand, but at the same time, I don't collect Persona. That's the issue, right? One day I might buy one figure or two from Persona series. Up next, from Fantasy Star Online 2, we have as Jin Summer Vacation 1x7 scale by Amakuni at just under 20,000 yen. So Seoul International made a very similar figure of the same character, at, yeah, I think around 16 or 17,000 yen or so, but Seoul international figures are not really that great, right? So finally now you have a better option in the form of something by Amakuni. Amakuni, they tend to exclusively focus on characters from game titles, so I am totally not surprised at all that they are picking up Phantasy Star Online when it comes to making figures. Next one, another figure from Phantasy Star Online, so an Annette Summer Vacation as well, same price under 20,000 yen at 1/7 scale, July 2024 release. This one is, how do I put it? Just now Jean as well and now Annette, these two figures felt a bit generic to me. Oh wow, let's look at the details on the body sculpt over here. This is the one thing Amakuni is really good at, the sculpting of body anatomy. So this girl is very skinny and you can even see the outline of her ribs over here. Now this is the kind of attention to detail I like a lot, which mostly genuine figure brands are concentrating on, but in the third-party resin market, third-party resin figures, all they do is slapping giant boobies on their figures. Like even Miku, they inflate their bust size by 2 or 3 times. Like, why? I mean, bust size is not everything. You need to focus on these body anatomical details like this one over here. So this one, it looks like a simple figure on the surface, but if you pay attention, you'll see details like this, and this is why I respect Amakuni so much, right? Up next, another figure of Elena from the Journey of Elena. There are way too many figures of her by now, like way too many. She is not yet at Ram and Ram level. Ram and Ram is like, they are being spammed into oblivion by every price figure brand, right? And also the genuine ones. Now Elena is slowly following that trend as well, and I have no reason why they do this. But anyways, this is a Tennital low cost figure at 5,220 yen, coming out in May 2024. Okay, so I think Tennital made a very similar figure of Elena with a slightly different outfit, right? I don't really have much of a comment for this figure because I don't think Tennital figures, they are like somewhere in between price figures and scale figures, slightly better than price figures, but don't expect any miracles at this price point, right? Yeah, if you pay attention to the clothes, outfits, yeah, this is still almost price figure level in terms of details, just that the paint quality, the QC is probably a bit better. And the last genuine figure on Ami Ami, okay, now we have this one. This is an exclusive item, right? Okay, 1/6 scale Levy from Attack on Titan by Pony Canyon, of all people. 42,000 yen. So I think Kotobukiya had an Art FXJ figure of him at 1/8 scale for around 16,000 yen or so. And then Good Smile made one in the past, but that one is pretty rare nowadays. Of course, the Koto one is getting a re-release, I think. So if your budget is way lower, go for that. And even if your budget is way higher and you can afford this one, I'm not sure if this one is worth it at all at 42,000 yen. I mean, Pony Canyon is the license holder. They can put any price tag on their figures. Just like Kadokawa Aniplex. They hold the license, they hold the copyright. They can price it any way they want, but at least this is 1/6 scale, so this thing is probably really huge. I haven't checked the dimensions yet, so we take a look at the dimensions down here. I mean, male character, 1/6 scale. So how tall is this thing? Oh, this is not really big, 23.5 centimeters. You need to remember, Levi or Levi is a really short guy, right? And Ami exclusive bonus F3 canvas art. So they are really adding unnecessary stuff into the package again and inflating the shipping cost for no good reason. Still, I mean, regardless of this is 1/6 or not, this feels overpriced to me. Yeah. Lastly, before we move on to third-party figures, there are nothing interesting on Ninin game for this week. Like nothing new from Native and Binding at the time of recording. But as usual, there are those Nikan Shoujo figures by Beeful and Forts Japan. I'm not putting it on screen because I'm just censoring the whole thing anyway, so go and check it out yourself. And that is all for genuine figures on pre-order this week. Now we move on to third-party resins making use of OzGK, and affiliate partner of this channel as well. And for some of the resin figures I'm about to cover, especially the ones I think will be popular, I'm including a pre-order link in the description below, affiliate link. Go and check it out yourself and make use of it if you are interested in any of the figures I'm about to cover. As usual, I have already picked the female characters I want to go for with my resin figure coverage every week. The first one over here, we have a licensed resin figure from Dodomo Studio. This one was displayed in Wonder Festival Shanghai actually. Fights Break Firmament Xiao Shun Okay, so this one is going for $843 US. Must be a 1x4. Yep, this is a 1x4 scale. Those giant, very Chinese statues, we see them almost once every 2 weeks or so. And yeah, people actually buy them. I don't buy statues like this. You can almost buy a statue like this and put it on an altar and pray it like as if it is your god of some kind. Yeah. So we shall enjoy the pictures for now and just glance through the details. It is not like I would buy something like this, not my kind of interest. This is not where my interest lies. This almost looks like CGI art, you see, but it is an actual figure. And this is the amazing thing about resin statues with these realistic characters, right? The next one we have Ace and Yamato from Sun God Studio from One Piece. So Yamato only is $192 US. Ace only would be $172, or you can get both as a set for $3 and $42. So specifically with Yamato right here. Yeah, this is quite a badass looking Yamato figure, right? There has been several figures of her in the past by other figure studios, which I really like. This one is also quite nice. I have always loved these figures where they kind of portray themselves removing their mask, Now, this is one of those Genshin characters which I don't see many people bring up or mention about. Okay, that jellyfish base is really something different, like really unique. It is not something I see in figures. In fact, I don't think I've seen any figure that comes with a jellyfish base of any kind before. This is something new. And yeah, if you were to go for this figure, go for the EX version, even though it is expensive. And we need more pictures before I can scrutinize the figure any further. Next one here from Art of Eden Studio, we have Nico Robin from One Piece. This doesn't really look like her. Is this a stylized version, a different art style? Okay, normal version $478 US, EX version $534. Okay, must be 1x4, right? Yes, this is a 1x4 scale. For this figure, I'm not going to scroll through every picture because it would be a huge pain in the butt to censor every single one of them. I mean, I'm filming from a hotel over here and I want to edit the video immediately after. I want to simplify my workflow. Less steps in editing, the better for something like this. This is just a news video anyway. So back to the figure. Despite this being a stylized version of Nico Robin, like a different art style in a way, at least it feels that way to me. This is a more realistic looking face. I'm not sure if this looks like Nico Robin at all, but the face looks really good. I like the face over here, right? So what do you think about this figure? Yeah, doesn't feel like One Piece character to me in some way, but at the same time, kind of nice looking, even though this is just a plain bikini figure in some way. The next one here, this is absolutely hands down the main highlight resin figure of this week. So Dodomo always finds a way to end up in the main spotlight for good reason, for marketing reasons, right? I have no idea about how they plan their products behind the scenes, but they really know how to attract attention from the general public, from the figure collectors. They come up with all these weird ideas that actually works as a figure, and people will go and hit that pre-order button. And by now they have almost 10 projects which are not yet released, and I'm starting to feel a bit concerned about whether they can keep up with the workload and not sacrifice too much on quality control, if any at all, right? I hope they can deliver, because my experience with Marin Kitagawa was really mixed and not as good. But I'm willing to give them another chance. I would still buy a figure by them in the future, right? This one Cynthia from Pokemon, $283 for the deluxe version. The regular version, which is $245 and slightly cheaper, you're not getting the Pokemon over there. But to me, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, the whole reason of this figure over here is to get it together with that Pokemon over there. I think the name is Lucario, right? Because she has grown up to be such a unique and skilled Pokemon trainer, but a different kind of trainer, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So I hope that she can do the same thing to maybe Garchomp. I don't know if there is anyone out there, including third-party resin figure brands, that would have came up with an idea like this one over here. Like a Pokemon trainer, but a different kind of trainer, BDSM trainer at the same time. And then you have that bondage situation, the Pokemon over there. This is really interesting. This is something different. And you can even say that this is something that you will never see. Never. You'll never see genuine figure brands making, right? So if you like this figure, which I am actually liking this a lot, yeah, go ahead and hit the pre-order button. At least there is only one eye visible, not both eyes, so maybe they won't misalign the eyes like what they did to Marin Kitagawa. I don't collect Pokemon, I don't care about Pokemon, but somehow I am weirdly attracted to this figure for some reason, you see? And this is the one thing Dodomo Studio is really good at. Whether the figure will turn out to be really good remains to be seen, of course. Up next, we have a licensed resin figure from Unique Art Studio. Asuka from Neon Genesis Evangelion. This one is going for $734 at 1:4 scale. Well, which isn't too bad when you consider the entire package where, yeah, I mean, you get a 1:4 scale figure and that base over there, that sofa, and then a mirror. $734 license is not expensive at all, seriously. Wow. I am very impressed with this resin figure of Asuka. This is a really good buy if you can afford one. Like, moreover, this bathroom setting or changing room setting of some kind, they are going with this science fiction setting because this is Evangelion we are talking about. This is already one of the best 1:4 skills this week, I think. But there is more coming. We have Azur Lane stuff coming at 1:4 skill and it looks amazing as well. Okay, the next one we have a super deformed version of Kafka from CR Studio. Now this is quite adorable, like, yeah, I kind of like the pose over here. This is nice. So this one is going for $85, which is a good buy. And this is, I think this is an actual product picture, this is not a CGI render. Yeah, this is an actual product picture. You can kind of see the 3D pop over there, right? It is different from a CGI artwork. The pose, I like the pose so much on this one. Up next, we have Anya from Spy Family from 00 Studio. This is $79. In the world of third-party resin figures, Anya is a bit like their very own version of price figure, you know. Almost every week we see a different version of Anya, and they are relatively cheap for the standards of a resin figure, right? Like $80 plus minus. Yeah, this one is not really that special to warrant your attention that much. Up next, okay, so from Let's Play Studio, we have Jin Liu from Honkai Star Rail. By now, we have at least 6 different high-quality resin figures of her already. No price yet, but apparently this is about $306. Even though this is a TBD price, I don't think the final amount will stray off that much, right? It won't change that much. Okay, this one is quite nice as well, and I find it really interesting that despite so many figure brands making a figure of Jin Liu, every single one of them finds a way to make the figure look relatively different from competitors, from other brands, right? This is the great part about their creativity over here. They really can figure out so many ways to make the figure of the same character over here and make you want every single one of them. That is the amazing part. This one, I actually kind of like this one as well. The pose and everything. I'm going to stick to my pre-order and see how things turn out because I want to review figures from various different brands and just to get a rough idea of what to expect, right? But this is a really good pre-order if you like the pose and the entire setup of this figure over here. I'm sticking to my pre-order, the one by Absinthe Studio for now. The next one here, this is a dude, but because this is a Genshin character, I'm giving him a bit of attention. Neo Villet, I'm not sure if I pronounce it correctly, but $386 US for a 1x6 skill, even with a really tall base over there, it feels overpriced, right? I like the base, of course, but at the same time, I don't know, it feels like a seabed to me. Like, you know, those looks like corals at the seabed rather than actual plants on the surface of the planet Earth. Okay, you see, this is the one part where third-party figure brands do better than genuine figure brands, and it is they actually put in effort into making figures of male characters. You see, when it comes to male characters wearing plain white shirt, we have seen it so many times from many figure brands that the details are lacking, but they are able to achieve this level of detail, like all the wrinkles around it, and it is semi-translucent. You can see the skin tone underneath that shirt. This is the kind of detail you don't see from genuine figure brands when it comes to male characters specifically, and it makes me feel bad for all those girls, all those figure collectors who are women, you girls collecting male characters, and Japanese figure brands treat you guys like crap in some way, you know? Yeah, third party is stepping in and giving you guys excellent skill figures. Up next, we have a very early bird pre-order by Hakimi Studio. We have Alicia from Honkai Impact. No price yet. Scale is 1x6, right? And this is the only picture we have. Oh, this is it a CGI render on an actual figure? I think it is a CGI render with this one. Now, let's hope that this thing does not break when it is being shipped to you. I am already really afraid and scared. Yeah, really scared when I see all those hair strands hanging on the tree branches, and this thing is supposed to travel half around the planet to your doorstep, you know? Anything can happen. This is a very ambitious looking figure. Up next, from Snow Studio, we have Paimon. So 1x7 scale at $117 US or life size at 535. So if you want something life sized yet doesn't cost a million yen, yeah, this Paimon can consider it. I mean, 535 US is actually not too much, right? And with this Paimon statue over here, yeah, especially if you are a big fan of Genshin Impact, this thing can be your centerpiece in your collection. There really is not much to discuss otherwise. I mean, this is a life-sized statue. I don't think you'll mess up the figure in any way. The bigger something is, the easier it is to paint and assemble it. Up next, from RHB Studio, we have Tifa from Final Fantasy. Wow, 1,600 ringgit, though it is not yet confirmed. The pricing, oh, life-sized? What? Life-sized at 1,600 US is actually a bargain. However, the face on this one, there was another studio that made a life-sized statue of her. I think it was Game Lady Studio, right? I like the face on the one made by Game Lady Studio a lot more. But this one, I mean, this is way cheaper. The one by Game Lady Studio was like 2,300, 2,500 US or so. Price of a mid-range full-frame camera. This one 1,600. The face, like, no, the jawline is a bit too well defined. I think Tifa's face is a bit smaller and sharper, you know, the shape of the jawline and the chin. But still, 1,600 US, and you want a life-sized statue? Yeah, this is potentially a good choice, even though the pose is on the bland side of things. There are no other pictures yet, so I'm not sure if this is a fixed statue or this is actually articulated. Like, can pose it with skin, silicone skin, and so on. We don't know enough yet. 169 centimeters, which is still shorter than me. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Okay, this is interesting indeed. First Cast Studio, FGO Artoria Caster. Now this one is a bit suspicious. 268 US. I remember seeing this figure somewhere on Taobao in the past. Like, this is not new. So this is a bit difficult to say for sure. Is this a recast of an existing genuine limited edition resin figure from Wonder Festival many years ago? But even if you were to accuse them of recasting an existing GK, which means it is a bootleg, that is not necessarily the case when you think about it. This is based on the official artwork of Caster Artoria. I think this is based on official art. And if they were to make a figure by just making use of the official art as a reference, you can't really call it a bootleg either. Just because the genuine version, the licensed version does not exist yet, right? So we are really going into a grey territory over here where right is not wrong and wrong is not right. Something like that. I don't really want to overthink things. For us figure collectors, it is very simple. If we want a figure of a very specific character and the genuine brands do not offer any, off we go to the third party market. It is that simple. So this one, yeah, I kind of want one. I kind of want one, but it does not make me want one so badly compared to a few other figures from Honkai Star Rail. Like, yeah, Jin Liu for example. Maybe because the colors on this one, no psychology, the colors on this figure is not that striking compared to those from Honkai Star Rail. 268 bucks for 1/6 scale, that is typical for resin statues. But I'm keeping a close eye on this one nonetheless, regardless of the ethical status of this figure, like whether it is a rip-off or a recast or not. I'm not going to think too much about it. Up next, okay, this is the one I was talking about earlier, 1/4 scale, Implaceable from Azur Lane by Stigmata Studio. Stigmata Studio, they are making a lot of Azur Lane stuff at 1/4 scale, and they're all realistic interpretations, right, which I'm not actually a big fan of. Version A, $497 US. Version B, something lewd, right? Oh no, okay, this is so much better. $573 US. Version A is the lewd one. Version B, this is possibly the best one. This thing at 1/4 scale, this is majestic. Wow. Damn. I have always been a big fan of details, and this one is possibly, yeah, this is possibly the best 1/4 scale resin this week. Version C, $843 US, which I assume you're getting both, right? But if you're getting both for $843, this is an absolute bargain. Let's see the details over here. Yes, version C is you're getting both for $843 US at 1/4 scale. This is an absolute bargain. And the only reason why I'm being stopped from buying this figure is, number one, I'm too poor for this thing, and number two, I'm not exactly a big fan of these realistic faces, right? But regardless, let's go through the pictures over here. Oh, this is anime version. Now I want it even more. The version A is the realistic version, I think. Ooh. Damn, son, damn. There has been so many times that Azur Lane has almost pulled me into their hole, this deep hole of expensive figures and statues. For me, if I were to purchase one, I think I will still settle for only this one instead of going for both. Like, I mean, it is too much, even though it is the best value. But seriously, I think this is the one to beat when it comes to figures of Implaceable. I need to think this over. So version B is $573 US, which is really expensive. This is the price of an entry-level camera. But I need to think this carefully. I'm not the type of person to buy things impulsively, you see. Okay, up next, from Figurama Studio, we have Lloyd Forger, Your Forger, Anya Forger. Okay, this is a licensed resin figure. And a set of 3 for $750 US. At 1/6 scale, right? 1/8 scale. So 1/8 scale, 3 figures, that is $250 each. Well, this is a licensed product, so naturally it is a bit more expensive. Okay, if you look very carefully on his clothes over there, you see some texture over there, like cloth texture, and this is the kind of attention to detail once again that resin figures do, but not the genuine ones, right? Third party resin. I can't really call this a third party either because this is a licensed product, but I suppose that resin as a material, you are able to replicate finer detail compared to PVC or ABS, right? Not really a bad purchase, but it is expensive for sure. Thanks to the base, the thing is really tall. Otherwise, this won't be a big figure, you see. 37 centimeters each, and Anya is 30. Moving on to the next one, this is an early bird figure pre-order, and we are getting a teaser pic of the back of the figure. Gorgeous Studio Honkai Star Rail, Himeko and Kafka. So Himeko only 287, Kafka only 287 as well. Deluxe version, you get both for $556 US. Of course, with figures like this where their posts are meant to complement each other, you need to go for both. Instead of buying either just one, it feels incomplete in a way. Up next, from Waku Waku Studio, which is basically an Anya specialist studio by now, we have Anya chasing a squirrel. Okay, this one is going for $109 US. This is something photogenic, like I could see myself photographing this figure in a diorama where she is in the park or a playground and she is chasing a squirrel, and we have some, who knows, a slide behind or something like that. Children's swing now. Looks very natural. I like the pose a lot, but other than that, there is nothing too special about it either. Up next, we have a nude figure of Marin Kitagawa by SC Studio, $359, and that is no Marin Kitagawa. That doesn't look like her at all, you see. So nowadays, these third-party resin figure brands, any blonde anime girl is Marin Kitagawa, right? And this looks more like Asuna to me, if I have to be honest. Yeah, Asuna from Sword Art Online. Up next, from Dragon Studio and Pop Studio, we have Made A Gear from Azur Lane. This is no official press yet, no pressing yet, and no skill mentions, but I believe this is 1x4. This studio, they make 1x4 statues, right? Okay, so for once, they are not making something with a realistic face. This is quite nice as well. I like that implaceable statue earlier a lot more, but this is not bad either. Yep. Based on this artwork. Actually, when I compare this statue over here with the artwork at the end, there is some slight differences with the face. Like, it is not very accurate to this artwork over here, but still not bad enough to be a problem. And still looks good nonetheless. Moving on to the next one. Okay, we have Boa Hancock from Su Zhao Studio. This is realistic version from the looks of it. $442 US at 1x4 scale. Not the best Boa Hancock figure, regardless of 1.4 or 1.6 scale, right? I've seen better. I feel like I'm looking at a game character from a fighting game like KOF or Street Fighter rather than Boa Hancock. It is nice that they are showing us an actual product picture, but I can't help but feel that one eye is bigger than the other. Yeah. I'm not liking this face at all. Something just doesn't look right over here. Yeah. Moving on to the next one. This is unusual. My Sakurajima from Senlin 2 Studio. Going for $134 US. Now this looks almost like pop-up weight or press figure quality, but as a resin figure, and I'm not sure if $134 US is even worthy of your attention, because you know there has been so many amazing high quality scale figures of my Sakurajima out there, like a lot of them for you to choose from, and pretty much every single one of them look better than this one. So I have no idea what this studio is thinking, because if you want to get into the figures of a character where the genuine options are already a dime a dozen out there, so many choices, you need to set the standard a lot higher. Like, it needs to be way better than this one over here. So I can't recommend this My Sakurajima resin figure at all. Up next, another Violet Evergarden or Saber figure. Last week we had one as well. This is by Light Team Studio. $267 US, and then there is character plus DLC. Maybe you're getting a nude option, $303 US. Let's see what is included. Oh no, you're not getting any nude stuff over here, unfortunately. You're just getting, okay, the umbrella. You're getting an extra alloy umbrella, so maybe go for the more expensive one, right? Okay, so let's have a look over here. This is, the base is really nice. I like the base over here, but I'm not liking that face at all. That face looks terrible. Last week we had a Violet Evergarden figure, which the main figure looks okay, but everything else looked very pedestrian and boring. This one is the exact opposite. Like, is this even Violet Evergarden? This looks like Cheryl Nome from Macross Frontier, dressing up, cosplaying as Violet Evergarden. Yeah, doesn't look like her at all, which is quite a shame because everything else otherwise look amazing. They need to fix the face. And the last resin figure for today, I have no idea what is this thing. Original characters, I suppose. Yaoji Studio, and I'm not taking that bait over there. No. I'm pronouncing this as D King Studio, not DICK. I'm not taking the bait over here. Okay, original Yoga Ball Sisters. Yeah, original characters. So you get to choose between pink or purple version to almost $300 US each, or EX version get both for $535. But what is this thing really? Why should I buy this? Right? This looks like a college art student project. Yeah, 1x5 scale, pretty big, but still, no, don't waste your money on something like this, right? Okay, and that is all for figures on pre-order this week. Which one tickles your fancy? For me, on the genuine side of figures, yeah, there are 2 or 3 original art characters, which I kind of like the character. On the resin side, the unexpected ones, that 1x4 scale implaceable. I think this is the first time I have been poisoned so hard by something from Azur Lane, and I'm still going to think things over. I mean, I've never spent $400, $500 on a statue or figure before. If I went for that one, it would be my very first, right? So I need to consider it carefully. Of course, I can't take too much time because pre-orders might close if the demand is too high. And that is about it for today. Which figure will you pre-order? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video today, please do subscribe to this channel for more weekly figure news and as well as high quality figure reviews. And until then, I'll see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.